friend, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is part 7 of practice set 2. We are going to discuss 10 multiple choice question, which is related to the AZ-900 certifications. So let's go to the first question. The question is, Scarlett and Mia are setting up a new office and they need to ensure the cloud requires defense in depth. Choose the appropriate security element in the physical security layer. And the options are: first, MFA; second, software updates and patching; third, installation of surveillance cameras; and fourth, motion sensors. And the correct answer is installation of surveillance cameras. So let's see the explanation. Surveillance cameras will physically secure access to buildings such as data centers. These physical layers of security allow you to control access to computing hardware in your data center. So let's see what is defense in depth strategy. So in the computing layer, virtual machine access protection is used. In the physical security layer, security that protects the computing hardware within the data center is used. In the identity and access layer, access management to the infrastructure is used. In the perimeter layer, DDoS protection is used to filter large-scale attacks before it can cause a denial of service to users. In the network layer, communication between resources is restricted through segmentation and access control. In the application layer, verification that the application is secure and free of security vulnerability is done. In the data layer, access control to business and customer data is protected. Let's see question number 2. Select yes if the following statement is true, otherwise select no. Statement is: Priya, who has the honor roll, can transfer ownership of an Azure subscription. And the options are maybe, yes, sometimes, and no. So let's see the correct answer. So it's no. Let's see the reason. So you must be an administrator to transfer ownership of a subscription. Only the billing administrator of an account can transfer ownership of a subscription. The billing administrator is a user who has been given permission to manage billing for an account. The billing administrator has permission to access billing information in their Azure portal as well as perform various billing-related tasks, such as creating subscription, viewing and paying invoices, and updating payment methods. So here, Priya is the honor role, so that's why she cannot transfer ownership of an Azure subscription. She must be an administrator role to transfer ownership of a subscription. Let's see the question number 3. Select yes if the following statement is true, otherwise select no. And the question statement is: Isabella can convert her free trial Azure subscription to a regular Microsoft Online Services program, that is pay-as-you-go Azure subscription. And the options are yes, maybe, no, and sometimes. And the correct answer is yes. So let's see the explanation. A user can change their Azure free trial account to a pay-as-you-go account. An Azure free account gets $200 credit for most Azure services for 30 days. Within 30 days of registration or when the credits are exhausted, whichever comes first, the user must upgrade to a pay-as-you-go subscription in order to continue. This allows you to continue using your Azure free account and the selected free services for the duration of the term. Let's see question number 4. Select yes if the following statement is true, otherwise select no. And the statement is: Benjamin's monthly budget limits for his cloud services are fixed and cannot be changed. The options are no, sometimes, maybe, and yes. And the correct answer is yes. So the explanation behind that is Azure spending limit is a function to prevent unexpected spending by stopping users when the credit amount is exceeded. If your users reaches the amount that depletes your spending limit, your service will be disabled for the remainder of the billing period, as your spending limit is equivalent to the number of credits. The Azure spending limit amount cannot be changed. For example, if you signed up for an Azure free account, your spending limit is $200 and you can't change it to $500. However, usage restriction can be removed. This limit prevents most types of spending. Let's go for question number 5. Sophia's company is planning to migrate from an on-premises environment to Azure. It is necessary to proceed with application development using Docker as the development environment. Which is the best solution for that? Please select 2. And the options are: first, Azure App Service; second, Azure Container Instances; third, Azure Functions; and fourth, Azure Virtual Machines. And let's see the correct answers. So it's Azure App Service and Azure Container Instances. So here is the explanation. Azure App Service is a freely managed platform for building, deploying, and scaling web apps. You can configure custom containers to run in Azure App Service. Option 2, which is Azure Container Instance, is also correct. Azure Container Instance is a service that runs Docker containers on demand within your Azure environment. Azure Container Instances can run Docker inside isolated containers without orchestration. It allows you to run event-driven application, deploy quickly from your container development pipeline, process data and base, and run jobs. Let's see the other options. Like option 3, which is Azure Functions, is incorrect. Azure Function is an event-driven serverless computing platform that runs applications with code without infrastructure. You can use it to develop serverless applications. Option 4, which is Azure Virtual Machine, is also incorrect. Azure Virtual Machine is an IaaS service that creates dedicated computing resources in minutes, configures the server to be used like a physical desktop or server computer. Let's go for question number 6. Isabella's company plans to migrate an on-premises SQL Server database using the Common Language Runtime (CLRs) to an Azure environment. Choose a method that also minimizes costs during migration and operations. And the options are: so first is migrate the SQL Server database to Azure SQL Managed Instance. Second, migrate the SQL Server database to Azure SQL Database. Third, migrate the SQL Server database to a virtual machine. And fourth, migrate the SQL Server database to Azure Function. So let's see the correct answer. Correct answer is migrate the SQL Server database to Azure SQL Managed Instance. Let's see the explanation. So Azure SQL Database is the easiest way to use SQL Server on Azure. However, in the scenario, we have a requirement of a SQL Server database utilizing the Common Language Runtime (CLR). Common Language Runtime is not available in Azure SQL Database. Therefore, it is necessary to consider this option. When migrating a Common Language Runtime (CLR)-enabled SQL Server database to Azure, Azure SQL Managed Instance offers the best compatibility and lowest migration cost. SQL Managed Instance comes with near 100% compatibility with the latest SQL Server Enterprise Edition database engine. So option 2, which is migrate the SQL Server database to Azure SQL Database, is incorrect. Azure SQL Database is a past type service of SQL Server. The easiest way to use SQL Server is usually Azure SQL Database. However, in this scenario, we have a requirement of a SQL Server database utilizing the Common Language Runtime (CLR). Common Language Runtime is not available in Azure SQL Database. Third option, which is a migrate the SQL Server database to a virtual machine, is also incorrect. It is possible to install the SQL Server database on a virtual machine and reproduce the same SQL Server database as the on-premise environment. However, it does not meet the requirement due to high migration and operating cost. Option 4, which is migrate the SQL Server database to Azure Function, is also incorrect. So database cannot be built in Azure functions. So let's see the question number 7. During a class discussion, Sophia asked how many copies of data are stored in locally redundant storage, LRS, in Azure storage account. And the options are 23, 3, 4, 1. So let's see the correct answer. And the correct answer is 3. The explanation behind this is Azure as storage deploys storage by specifying a region. The region where the storage is deployed is called the primary region. By default, Azure storage replicates copies data in the primary region to increase data redundancy. There are two methods for this. First, LRS, local redundant storage. Within one physical location in the primary region, the storage copies data synchronously 3 times. Second, ZRS, zone redundant storage. Storage copies data synchronously across 3 Azure availability zones in the primary region. Either way, the storage in your Azure account storage will copy the data 3 times. Let's see the question number 8. Select yes if the following statement is true, otherwise select no. Scarlett and Arrow noticed that pay-as-you-go pricing reduces your overall costs because you pay only for the capacity you use. And the options are no, sometimes, rarely, and yes. And the correct answer is yes. So the explanation is Azure saves your money with competitive pay-as-you-go pricing. In the pay-as-you-go system, you pay for the amount actually used. So there is no initial cost at all. In addition, overall costs can be reduced by paying only usage fees compared to building infrastructure that would normally be a capital expense in an on-premises environment. Let's see the question number 9. Select yes if the following statement is true, otherwise select no. Owen and Ella noticed that serverless services such as Azure functions are built on a pay-as-you-go basis. And the options are no, yes, rarely, sometimes. And the answer is yes. So the explanation is serverless services such as Azure functions are based on a pay-as-you-go plan because you are charged for the execution time of the computing resources used. The Azure functions consumptions plan charged based on resource usage and number of executions per second. Azure functions pricing includes 1 million monthly requests and 400,000 GB of resource consumption per subscription at no charge. Pay-as-you-go pricing across all function apps in that subscription. The Azure Function Premium plan bills per second based on the number of vCPUs and GB consumed by premium functions. Let's see the last question, which is question number 10. Priya's company is considering moving from an on-premises environment to the public cloud. What are the typical cost benefits they might experience? And the options are first, both capital expenses, CapEx, and operating expenses, OpEx, go down. Second, operating expenses, OpEx, go down. Third, capital expenses, CapEx, go down. And fourth, lower capital expenses but higher operating expenses. And the correct answer is both capital expenses, CapEx, and operating expenses, OpEx, go down. So let's see the explanation. Public cloud services like Azure offers the flexibility to align system costs with capital expenses, CapEx, to operational expenses, OpEx. For example, equipment costs such as data center purchases of physical servers are usually capital expenses, but by using virtual servers using Azure, it is possible to convert them into operating expenses. There are no fixed costs in the public cloud, and there are no costs if you don't use it. All expenses are treated as operating expenses. In addition, it is said that the operation expenses generally reduce because it is a pay-as-you-go system in which you are charged based on the amount used. So with this question, this is the end of this series where we are discussing AZ-900, and with this question, this practice 2 is also end. So now we will, in the next video, we are going to discuss practice set 3 with some new question. So if you like the question, answer, and explanation, please hit the like button and please subscribe to my channel and put your comment. That will motivate us to make more and more video. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.